Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Valance. I am Trajan, joined once again by Cliff. We'll be taking you all on another tour through Division 4 as Fireflies squad are taking on Prime Tails.
Yeah, looking forward to this game. Didn't cast last week. I don't think you did either, did you? So
I had a cast with Rail last week in some more Division 4 action, so I'm sticking where I love to be, down here at the bottom. But
in
the
the
top
depths.
of the quality, the top of the fun scale right here.
Definitely the most fun games to cast, yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, we do have a team that we both cast last time in Fireflies squad, and they had some genuinely good plays. Electrofire and Tease look like a really strong mid-jungle duo, so I'm excited to have them back on the Rift in front of us today.
Yeah, I'm really interested in this Tease versus Bufu matchup. I think this one could go either way. Either Bufu's going to smash or Bufu's going to hard run it down.
Yeah, I mean, the team of Prime Tails literally spawned off of Prime whatever last split. This is a genuine coin flip themed team with multiple coin flip players on there. Ollie as well looks by the state of his OP.GG to just be a complete wild card at all times. So you're right, they could just walk over a good promising team like Firefly Squad by just landing that heads every time.
Yeah, so the Kindred ban away from the Kindred main. I think that's a necessity. Ash and Volibear on the other side. Just the Ash ban's just a good ban in general. I guess Ollie must play a lot of the Volibear.
Potentially, yeah. And I mean, Ash, I think, is always a solid ban for sure. Just the playmaking that comes off of this champion while she's already in such a strong place in the meta. Decent matchups into all the strong ADCs. Definitely a solid ban there. And the Hecarim taken away from Coron as well is very nice. He's one of the new factors in this Prime Tails team. And good to take away his comfort pick so he can't get the jump on them.
Yeah, Hecarim's just a really strong jungler at the moment as well. I think really impressive win rates on this patch for a jungler, and you can execute a lot of control, and then obviously the obligatory Samira ban on the other side. Insta-lock Caitlyn as well. Love to see it.
Yeah, 64% win rate on that Caitlyn for Xizio. No surprises, he takes the comfort with Ash already off the table. Samira away as well. Both of these teams, I think, do have the capacity to play it, but it is still very much a volatile element to put into there, so they're gonna move away from it. I'm interested to see what Coron now goes for. With the Hecarim gone, there is still a very strong Vi and Shyvana options there, and it is going to be the Vi locked in. This has 67% win rate over 125 games. That is legitimately very impressive, and it can have a lot of impact in the early and mid game.
Yeah, Vi's very good in VL as well, because I like people to take a lot of go buttons, and Vi has one of the best go buttons in the game. It's like, okay, this person is the strongest person on their team, so I'm just going to press R on him, and then you guys need to kill him.
Yeah, team, like, this is what I'm doing. Everyone get on board right now. And if they're going to get on board, Aurelia's going to get that... sorry, not Aurelia, Leona. Aurelia would get that done, but Leona is the support picked up for Drake Banksy or Gleb for people who know them from last split, but that is a good follow-up go button.
Yeah, I think the big problem here is, though, Leona is a little bit of a bait, because Morgana is just going to be insta-locked in. Yeah. Morgana is such a good counter pick to Leona. Leona has to play this perfectly. You E on one person, and then you essentially just have to flash to the other person, because Morgana's going to put the black shield down. So if Gleb plays it right, it will be fine. But Morgana is such a safe pick into it.
Yeah, those who were lucky enough to catch our previous cast was that one of the big factors that we were looking at on a Morgana pick that was traded back and forth in that series was that you need to be able to use the Black Shield properly. And there were times when it was not used properly. So despite the fact that Morgana has come in, it's absolutely a strong pick here. We'll need to see if Draconi is going to be on the ball today and get that Black Shield where it needs to be.
Definitely. A blind Ornn as well. I'm not sure. I guess Spanish just likes to play it and he's very comfortable on it, but Ornn is so punishable. Like, do you know, like, a lot of things on this lineup already, Vi and Leona can cancel the Ornn ult just by stunning him so he doesn't get the second hit of it. So I'd like to see maybe Mordekaiser ban come out here from the Firefly squad. Mordekaiser is just a really good matchup into Ornn. We play it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. You're going for just all-round value with the Ornn pick and buffing up that Caitlyn later on in the game, especially whatever Tease gets as well. The Yasuo has been taken away, and that did have a huge impact on Firefly Squad's first series that we cast in this split. So taking away some power picks from the mid lane, and they're going to ban away the Shen as well. So more utility taken off the board there. 2 powerful top laners taken away, in fact, by Firefly squad in the GP and the Shen.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Mordekaiser locked in here. You can pick jungle and save it, but I think I would rather see Mordekaiser locked in here, and then you can get a better jungle matchup, maybe. Oh no, they already have the Vi, so yeah, Mordekaiser should just be locked here, in my opinion. It fits their composition fine as well. Cho'Gath, I'm not sure about that one.
It's an interesting matchup into Ornn for sure. Like you can kill him in the first 5 levels for sure. If you land your Qs, it's very much skill shot based, this matchup. Like if Ornn gets the Q into the combo, he can get some damage done, but you can't ever really kill Cho'Gath. He just heals through his trades and his CSing. Ornn is a champion that whittles you down through favorable trades, but Cho'Gath just heals himself back with a passive. So maybe they're just looking to have something else that can match that late game power as he does get all of that health stacked up.
That's a Zyra. Is that Morgana mid? Maybe
a jungle. Electrofire Morgana jungle is a real deal, and I believe he did pull it out at least once. And it is, it's a very interesting way of playing the game. It's kind of throws a bit of a spanner in the works at this pick here.
Okay, yeah, it's got to be Morgana jungle. Sylas is not clear very well at all, so it has to be Morgana jungle here. I dig it. I'm okay. This is interesting. I really like the Zyra locking as well. Leona is probably one of the better matchups into Zyra. Leona does quite well to punish it, because if you can get on Zyra, you kill her so fast, especially with a Jhin. Yeah. So maybe a little bit of a counter pick in the support, but, Zyra Caitlyn is a really good combo. And a Galio mid. Okay, yeah, I dig it. There's a lot of AP on the Prime Tail side there. And
there's Sylas... a lot of AP on both sides, to be honest.
Yeah, there is.
Zyra, Sylas, Morgana as well. Ornn's not really offering... Well, I mean, he is kind of offering too much AD damage, but not too much in the AP department there. But I think that, the Zyra pick is, once again, it was something that you were calling for last time we saw Firefly Squad out here. You were wanting someone to take the Zyra to punish a Morgana, in fact. And they've actually locked in both. And now, as you say, the Leona, if they get on top, is going to be very dangerous. But pre-6... Zyra can poke them out, and Caitlyn's already said it's a very strong lane. If they get the lane to a point where they are strong enough already by the time the Leona ult threat becomes a real thing, they might still be able to just ride it out and keep poking them down.
I'm a little concerned maybe about a lack of damage coming out for Prime Tails. If Jhin gets ahead, they shouldn't have any problem, but if Jhin falls behind, I don't see how they ever kill an Ornn.
I don't think anyone on the side of Prime Tails is really geared up to beat an Ornn if they are ahead. Cho'Gath can itemize towards damage and go a glacial build, but that doesn't really help against Ornn still. It's still very much burst heavy and not DPS, which is really what you need running into that level 16 ornamented up Ornn champion. Yeah,
I mean, a level 13 Ornn with 2 items is so strong.
Yeah.
The Sylas pick is also quite interesting as well. I think they picked Galio into Sylas as well, so I'm not 100% sure how that matchup goes, but I don't think Sylas will have that difficult of a time because of the spell vamp that he gets. So maybe they could have done something more to punish the Sylas early, but it looks like they've really just geared up to making sure Gekno carries this game.
Yeah, they've just itemized more into this dive comp with the Vi, the Leona. Galio obviously follows that up pretty well. It's an okay matchup into Sylas. Like you're in a short lane in the mid lane, you can clear the wave relatively easily. You trade okay with him, just don't get into an extended fight with Sylas, because as you know, just nobody wins against this champion. That's kind of the point of that massive Kingslayer passive, or healing, I should say. So I think that they just want to. Hopefully Bafu can have a less eventful game, at least for the earlier parts. Doesn't flip the coin too early. Maybe goes for it later on when they've got ultimates online, when they've maybe got a bit of damage to follow up.
I see you've never seen Bafu play League of Legends before, have you?
Sadly not. I'm excited to get my first outing watching this player. But we'll have to see how it shakes out here. When it comes into the jungle matchup, we talked about the Morgana jungle being Electrofire. He's comfortable in this champion, but Vi should be able to literally beat up on this Morgana. If he avoids the binding in the jungle, there's nothing more Morgana can do. You've just got to walk away.
Yeah. I hope Corrin can can pressure Electrofire out of his jungle a bit. If you let the Morgana free farm here, you're really not doing your job as Vi. Pre-6, he can get a lot of pressure. Cho'Gath can push in the Ornn as well, so he can get a lot of pressure topside. Jhin pushes really well, maybe not against the Caitlyn, but he can get side lane pressure and use that to invade into Morgana's jungle, play some wards, scout her out. I think he pre-6, even at 6, Corrin can just walk into Morgana's jungle and kill her.
Yeah, especially if Galio ult's online, you can ult from the mid lane to turn that fight way quicker than Sylas can get there, unless he steals the Galio ult, I guess. But it's I think that Corrin, by the way this guy builds, he plays Hecarim and Vi, like he's going Triforce every game, he's going like Warrior, Triforce, Death Stance on any champion that he can afford to build these items on. Like, this is a guy who wants to carry from the jungle. He wants to get ahead in early game, spike through the mid game, and just force through these fights with huge damage and engage. And he's got himself a good champion to do it. He's got a comfort pick for himself. So I think that he set himself up pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely, this game is going to be a lot about what Corrin does early. If he doesn't get his lanes ahead or get Morgana really far behind, I think Prime Tails are going to have a little bit of trouble closing this out. They're not going to be able to kill the Ornn. Zyra, Morgana, Caitlyn is such a hard team to dive into. Like, it's going to be interesting. Dark Harvest on the Morgana as well.
Yeah, I think there's just not really that many other good options for it. You can phase rush, perhaps. I think a lot of people taking phase rush in a lot of matchups, and of course with the repositioning with the ultimate, it's very strong for Morgana. But Dark Harvest, I think, is just one of these things that helps your damage like keep up, and you can actually, when you're playing Morgana jungle, your whole game is land the binding. You land the binding, you're laughing, you're chilling, but if you miss it, who cares? So you might as well take Dark Harvest and just proc it and just hope that it's enough.
Bufu didn't go the Predator Galio tech. I don't know if you've been watching Worlds, but I think everyone's been going Predator Galio, haven't they?
It has been very popular, and I mean, Aftershock definitely has its value for sure, but in a game like this as well, where we want to see them being active in the early and the mid game on this mid jungle duo, like we want to see them step up and get in the face of Tease and Electrofire, I think Predator could have done them a lot of work.
I'd have been happy with Spellbook as well.
Oh yeah. Spellbook's always good. On players who can directly operate Spellbook, it's pretty much always the best option. Like if you have it on Ornn as well, or Galio, like if you're good enough to get the full use out of that rune, it is amazingly good. Yep, we are at 10 seconds now. It's going to sync up with our beautiful streamer.
Yeah, I am still in loading screen because sometimes the spectator client decides it doesn't want to work properly.
It does unfortunately do that. We'll take another look further down the runes. We do have a cleanse onto Gekno, which I think is the right call here. Zyra, Morgana, and Caitlyn Trap as well. Like, just be safe. Just take that cleanse.
Okay, I am at 10.
That was quick. Dang. And we are back in it, everybody, with this first game of the series here. Firefly squad taking on Prime Tails here at week 3 of Valance League Division 4. See if there's any level 1 shenanigans. Both of these teams have decent CC to set up, but not too much after that. Morgana and Zyra is a pretty fearsome combo, but looks like we're going to get a pair of 5 points to kick this series off.
Yeah, again with Division 4 doing the jungler mid strat, I would prefer to see the junglers try and get wards down into the pixel bushes and then reset for sweepers. It's not bad to do it this way, it's just maybe not optimal to do it this way.
Yeah, exactly. And I am honestly, so going into the series, Prime Tails is a bit of an unknown quantity for me. I haven't seen a lot of the players, as I've heard. They're pretty coin flippy. But I am expecting quite a lot out of Firefly squad. I really liked, especially what mid and jungle were doing. Spunners surprised us all by not just being a Riven main. He pulled out a lovely Shen in that first series. He's got Ornn now as well. So I'm looking for this team to step up even more. Though it must be said, both of their series so far, they were 2-1 victories, whereas Prime Tails have 2-0'd both of their matchups so far. So they are flipping heads more often than not. So maybe they've weighted this coin somehow.
It must be a weighted coin, or they're going to flip tails for the rest of the split. It's one or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't see them winning. If they win 3 games in a row, 2-0, then they're definitely cheating, guys.
Yeah, we're taking a suspicious look at their back end for sure if we see that one. So we do have a red buff start for Karan here, and Morgana is starting on the Wolves. There is a ward on her blue as well, so getting a little bit of early vision. They don't have the sweeper setup, but they do have the nous to get a little bit of information going into this early game.
Yeah, they should probably see Morgana on that ward right now as well, so
yeah.
It's a good ward. I think Bafu put that one down. Yeah, he definitely put that one down. So it's a nice ward for him to place. He didn't lose a lot out of it either. So now they can track the Morgana's movements. I mean, if I'm Corrin here and I know the Morgana is on her blue right now, I'm going into the bot side jungle.
Yeah, I've got a big target on that second red buff as now. Level 2's been hit by Drift Banks. He nails Draconi with that flourish to follow up a flash forward and Gekno into the 4th shot, first blood. Prime Tails, they flip aheads again.
This is what I was saying. It's such an easy matchup for Leona. If you get 2 first and Zyra's overstepped, you can kill Zyra so easily. She's such a squishy champion. She doesn't have the root. She doesn't have her seeds. So it's very difficult for the Zyra to play strategically around that. You have to always be aware of Leona's positioning, and Draconi was just too far forward.
You do have a gank developing in the mid lane as well. Tease does get locked up by Bafu, opting into this fight, but Corrin is here, comes straight through with those fists, and it's an easy cleanup. Another kill secured by Prime Tails.
Well, they are off to an explosive start right now. It was a nice gank. Bafu did a lot to set it up as well, so once he procced his aftershock as well, he took no damage, so maybe it is the tech for him. The problem they're having on the top side though is Ollie is completely out of mana already.
That was so risky by Bafu going for the Justice Punch there. He almost knocked himself on Morgana, and then he would just straight up die for that one, at least lose his flash. But he does get away. The TP comes out of Tease as well, so both mid and bot lane have gone in favor of Prime Tails, but they haven't lost too much yet. We see the Caitlyn's still up in CS. He's using that TP to keep means he's still, even he's going to be slightly up after he pushes his wave in. So it's the start that Prime Tails wanted, but by no means the end of the game for Firefly Squad.
Yeah, I mean, Bafu's going to keep hold of his teleport as well, which is nice. He's going to lose some of this wave as it crashes into his tower. But yeah, he's going to be up in summoner spells as well, so that's nice. If a fight picks off bot lane or top lane, he can come and, he can equal a fight very quickly. So good to see him hold it. A little bit risky to overstay there initially, but he's done well to secure an advantage of sorts.
Yeah, and I mean, so we have the explosive start that we wanted from Corrin, and it's this bot lane as well. Like, I imagine we're going to see the pressure try to be kept up from the bot lane too. Now that Leona, you have to keep going and you have to keep applying that pressure to get the full value out of this combination. They have now been shoved up, so I want to see if this warding can maintain its coverage, I guess, for the side of Firefly Squad. As we now, Bafu taking another fight onto Tease, or Tease opts into it, but there's a lot of minions there, my friend, and he does get pushed away as those little projectiles do stack up.
Yeah, the aftershock is really coming in big for Bafu here. He's forcing these trades, and Tease isn't waiting for the aftershock to wear off. He's just throwing all of his damage onto the defense buffed up Gallier. Not really it's nuances in the matchup. He's making sure you track stuff like somebody's rune. So having the fleet, he loses out a lot when he goes for these short trades with Gallier.
Ooh, Bafu drops that taunt early. Can the binding line? But it doesn't. Tease does get the knockup, forces the flash at least, and a Dark Harvest proc could be secured, but no kill on that gank.
Yeah, good gank. I mean, Bafu was stepping up too far, and Electrify knew that. It was baited in by Tease. I think the aftershock was down as well at the same time. So there was me talking about them not tracking it properly, and they go for a gank when it's not up, or at least when Bafu couldn't proc it. So yeah, it was well played. They took his flash. He may be up in the teleport still, but now he's so easy to kill. If Morgana gets behind him, just black shields herself, Bafu's dead.
Yeah, and Tease could even maybe look for this 1v1 depending on how the Aftershock plays around the Aftershock as well, because Silas does have decent enough burst to get this damage down, layering his abilities, as now we're going to see Prime Tails start off this Ocean Dragon. They're not even pulling it out right now, they're just kind of starting it up, and Electrifier's got a Blast Cone. wants to try and go for this one. May just throw a binding out. There's a ward, and there's a flash. Steals it! Straight over the wall. Grabbing that from themselves. Spunners is here. The ult goes about as wide as it could go, but now here comes the Galio ult. Smashing in. Tease gets a kill for themselves as Corrin goes down. Electrifire will finish off Bafu. Draconi following up. And Firefly squad, they fire back in this game.
Such a good punish from Firefly squad there. Prime did not do their due diligence. They didn't look for Morgana. They opted into a 50-50, and Firefly squad punished them for it. Electrify flashes over the wall, steals the Ocean Dragon, which is such a good dragon to steal. Corrin doesn't even smite. Like, I don't know. The one downside to these, Electrify decided he opted to flash over the wall instead of using the blast cone, which confused me a lot, but he still got the dragons.
He waited to the last possible minute and then came over there, and we didn't see a TP from Ollie as well. His ult was down, evidently been using it to farm up the minions, but no presence at all locks a lot of their utility and CC away with the knockup and the silence in Cho'Gath's kit.
Yeah, I mean, he's managed to build up a nice CS lead. He didn't get the minions shoved into the tower though, so Spinus doesn't actually lose too much from this. The problem is he hadn't backed beforehand. He was still on essentially no mana, which he's been on for the last 4 minutes. So he really, if he TP's down there, he's just a Cho'Gath auto attacking things. So definitely the better play to stay top. But
I can't really believe that Spunners didn't die in that fight. Just thinking back, he ended up in the middle of everybody. His ult completely whiffs, and then he just somehow lives. He just walks away. But I guess that's just the power of Tease and Xizio Draconi coming in to follow up with that one. As now we'll see how this bot lane can do, because they didn't get any kills on Caitlyn, but Zyra did get a bit of gold. Sork Shoes on deck now. And they might be able to step up and match the damage coming out, but it is landing into ultimate territory for all of those bot laners soon. Xizio's got it. The rest of the 3 will be landing it very shortly.
Yeah, Draconi's at the point now as well where, he can just do this and chunk Leona out. That was through Leona's W as well, so...
See if he can get more of these solid trades going. There's an early Null Magic Mantle for Leona, probably the right call here, as otherwise those Sork Shoes would be doing even more damage. The speed as well, I think, helping Draconi, so you do want to make sure you get in and out of range where possible, so avoid Drift Banksy sneaking up on you.
Yeah, you really have to play around Leona's range as Zyra in this matchup. He's hit 6 now. You'd like to see... I didn't see it in that last route from the Zyra, but you'd like to see Caitlyn essentially treat it the same way you treat the Morgana Caitlyn lane, where the second Zyra hits the route, you place the trap underneath the person, and you can just, CC them for a longer period of time, get a lot of damage down. Maybe the traps were down, but I really like it when a Caitlyn holds the trap and just waits. You're Caitlyn. There's no point in just putting it down in the middle of the lane. Nobody's going to be, stupid enough to just walk into it. People know what the trap does. So it's holding at least one and waiting for your CC support to hit the CC is such a good play for the ADC here. He just needs to, they need to communicate this a little bit better, and they could half health Leona in one combo.
The stolen vial into the dark binding onto Bafu, and he's far away from his tower now. A 2-man taunt will happen, but that is not going to stop the inevitable. A killing spree for Morgana on this nice gank in the mid lane.
Okay, Silas with Vial is terrifying.
Coney, they could look for this one. Here comes the stun CC chain. The Stranglethorns go down. A flash forward, but the Ignite will do it. Drift Banksy picks up a kill, but now the CC is back. That mid-jungle duo coming in to clean up the mess again. 4 kills on this Morgana now.
Yeah, Draconi in the wrong position again. Second time this has happened now. Gets punished for it, but luckily his team are there to come and try and save him. A little bit too late to save him, but they managed to clean up the Leona. They take it 1 for 1. It's probably a trade they prefer, because I think Leona picked up the kill on Draconi. Yeah, he did. And they now have a 4-0 Morgana, which is exactly what we said you don't want in the early stages of this game, is for Morgana to not be behind.
Yeah, that Dark Harvest is going to start doing work as these kills come through. The Dark Binding is going to be huge in and of itself without even the extra pull damage and the potential Soul Chains, Soul Shackles to follow it up. So they're going to have to be very kind of a bit cautious on the engages, as now the Morgana is going to be very powerful. Tease as well has a lot of assists, but hasn't given up any more kills. Is getting close towards the GLP, I assume, is what they're going for, the usual Silas path. So Firefly Squad looking pretty comfortable here. They do have great scaling options, and they've had a strong early game despite the aggression coming out of Koron.
Yeah, ball's really in Firefly Squad court here. They are set up to win this game right now. They have the scaling on their side. They have the Ornn. I don't see how Ornn dies now. You know, we'll get to that stage of the game where Ornn's just going to be an absolute monster, and, you know, Jin's not too strong. So
people developing up in this mid lane, forces the flash out of Morgana, dodges that solar flare, but Shogath is here. Can they get the chomp? Is going to get a nice shutdown feast, and now Koron is onto Xizio. Galio comes through, a flash forward will try and get it done, but Xizio slips away. Another Zenith Blade lands onto Zyra to finish off Draconi. Will it be enough? Not quite, as now the ult comes through and Bafu is left on his lonesome. Tease over the wall, Cho'Gath covering the retreat, but oh, actually, the curtain call comes out. They can land all of these shots. T's dropping very low. That execute damage going to come through and nail everyone. Gekno cleans up a kill on the backside, and now they're turning towards the dragon.
We don't call it VLPL for nothing, Trajan. That was a fight for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love the fact that Prime Sales are not rolling over here. They know they've kind of been beaten back a little bit early on, but they need to keep the aggression on and use their CC, and they've done exactly that. They did win that fight, I believe, over the course of it, and especially the big shutdown going into Ollie's pocket.
Yeah, Ollie gets a nice chunk of gold there. So, you know, if you're a Prime Tales fan, this is what you want to see. They're up in gold because of the shutdown. They managed to pick up a Drake, so they slow down the soul. Or at least they increase the chance of them getting the soul. It is Cloud, so it's not amazing, but if they can stack 3 Cloud Drakes right now, it's so good for Leona, it's so good for Galio, it's so good for Vi, and especially Cho'Gath. Like, oh my god, Cho'Gath loves it. 30% ult CD on Cho'Gath? Like,
multiple beasts in every team fight is a scary prospect. Bafu lands a little taunt into a Justice Punch. Driftbanks is here with the Solar Flare if they want to go for it. Zenith Blade actually does not connect, and Electrofire is waiting, so maybe lucky for him he didn't get that one.
Yeah, a little bit slow on the rotation to mid lane there. I think he was just sitting there waiting, and he should have gone the second that fight started. Not the end of the world, but I think they could have secured that kill.
Yeah, maybe just open up with the Solar Flare as well. Trust your instincts, trust your aim, and try and get that one locked in. Then you get that guaranteed, you know, the layup from the Zenith Blade once you've started that CC. As Electrifire comes in, does actually get the Dark Binding. It's just going to clear this wave out. But Bafu, that mid tower is dropping very low. 3 plates down already.
Okay, Trajan. How many Dark Harvest stacks do you think Morgana has?
Okay, without checking, I know they've gotten... They must have at least, you know, 4, maybe 6, because they've got 6 assists, or 6 total kill participation at this point. But of course, the cooldown on teamfight maybe makes that not the case. I'm going to say 5.
6, you're right, it is 6. There's a good route there.
Should have gone my gut. Yeah, they do get a nice trade, and we've seen Drift Banksy get more done in that mid lane and in these, you know, jungle fights, but haven't seen any real more success in the bot lane.
6 Dark Harvest stacks, that's a reasonable amount for a Morgana. That's a lot of, I mean, the really high kill participation as well, coming from Electrofire. I mean, actually, a lot of high kill participation, especially coming from T's, being involved in every single kill so far, so...
Ooh, Koron is in range for this ultimate. Nails the Solar Flare and the Deadly Flourish as well. A perfect setup. Gets that kill, but Xizio drops the damage down onto Vi, and Spunner's here once again. Gets stunned, and the ult once again just goes somewhere, I guess. The ult comes through to Drift Banksy, and they will clean up Gekno. Great rotations from Firefly Squad.
Okay, I was watching Drift Banksy then. I'm not sure you noticed it, but he definitely tried to use Gekno to block the Caitlyn ult.
You're donezo, mate. I'm going to take my ticket out of here, but he gets punished for his selfishness and still goes down. I'm hoping that Spunners will land an all-out at some point, but he doesn't seem to need to. He just kind of rocks up, grabs some assists, throws the ult somewhere, and cleans up some gold.
Spunners is just ulting because he likes the sound at this point, not because he wants to hit it. They get first turret as well, so this gold is going backwards and forwards here. They were about 2k gold down at like 13 minutes, and now they're 1k gold up at 15 minutes, so this game's been so back and forward. It's actually difficult to know who wins this. I think, you know, you have to, the ball's still in Firefly's court here because they have the scaling with them, but from the way this game is played out so far, it literally could go either way.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really just waiting to see the kind of impact Ollie can have again. Because we saw when that team fight erupted mid lane, he was there ready to get the feast onto Electrofire, and it was a massive part of why they won that fight. He is now level 11. He's got these feast stacks coming up. He's very big already, as you can see. You've got that MR on lock, so Tease and Electrofire and Draconi not going to be able to burn through him very easily. He's going to be a force on that front line.
Well, I don't like fighting for the second Herald here.
Yeah, we got a lot of people in the river right now. Driftbanks is going to catch Spanos and is going to miss the Zenith Blade, but Tease on the side doesn't get it secured. But now Bafu catches Draconi, forces the flash, but not the kill. And the ult comes through from Caitlyn. Draconi, can he dodge? No, he will not. Instantly sniped out. That is support for mid laners so far, but the Rift Herald picked up by Coron.
Yeah, Bafu just a little bit too deep there. Really underestimating how much damage a Silk Shoes Haunting Guy Zyra can do to you, because it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, and he is 0-4, 0-3 at the time. He's not the strongest Galio, it must be said. Almost got it done, but could not get the final kill locked in. There's Xizio there to follow up. Luckily, Gekno takes that gold as well. Xizio is definitely very strong right now. After a bit of a quiet laning phase, always shows up at these fights. These headshots are cleaning up a lot of value. And now 5-0-4. Caitlyn's going to become a big problem soon.
Yeah, Caitlyn with a strong Morgana and a Zyra to protect her. And the Ornn. Here comes the Ornn Horn.
Well, straight onto Gekno, gets the lockup into Electrofire with that follow-up. Spanos can probably follow this one up, and Tease is going to come in. He's got a feast on this Silas, though. Bafu gets a two-man taunt of both the backliners, tries to look up from Xizio. Can they kite him out again? In comes another binding into those shots, but a feast over the wall from Ollie takes down Xizio as he wasn't paying attention to the Cho'Gath there. Drift Banksy just kind of playing around this blast cone with Tease. Ring around the Rosie there, gets towards his own tower. Can Tease finish this one off? He thinks about it, but he turns around. Ollie does land that knock-up. He is going to get vision there, but the blue team has secured this ocean, Cloud Dragon pit, I should say. They're going to walk away with the objective.
Yeah, that was nice for the Firefly squad. I mean, Gekno did not get to participate in that fight at all. Spanos finally hits an Ornal only onto Gekno this time, but it's immediately followed up with a Dark Binding and the pool underneath it. You know, Spanos just walks up to him and Gekno doesn't get to participate. I think he, you know, doesn't even flash. He just straight up dies with Cleanse and Flash up. Maybe they just came up, but he didn't get to participate. Bafu goes way too deep into the back line and just gets shut down. It's Zyra Caitlyn, so you dive back there. I don't think you kill either of them as Galio.
Not at this point. I mean, he's playing like he's 4-0-4, not 0-4-4. If he had, like, the Proto Belt plus, like, Haunting Guys or most of Leandries, you know, if he's actually fed right now, getting that massive taunt in the combo means he does kill at least one, maybe even two if he plays it right. But right now, as you say, he doesn't have the power to be pulling moves like this.
No, and if he's playing Distraction for his team, that's fine, but, you know, Gekno's already dead at that point. You don't have any damage once Gekno dies for them. Yeah. So they need to think, they need to slow down, and they need to think about how they want to play these fights out. If Gekno dies during, and especially at the very start of a fight, they need to know that that is a fight lost and they cannot participate anymore.
Yeah, it was really quite lucky for them that Ollie was gifted over the shutdown onto Xizio just by coming over that wall. And Cho'Gath, once we see him join the fight, and we see him have a big impact upon it. He's got the 2 kills for himself, a lot of CS under his belt, most on the Rift right now. Gargoyle's Stoneplate completed. This Cho'Gath is, you know, we were talking about how unkillable Ornn is going to be, but Cho'Gath is laughing right now. I don't see how anyone can actually step up to deal with this guy.
Yeah, the Cho's going to be hard to kill. Mask and Stoneplate is such a nice combination of defensive items. They're going to really reduce the damage that Caitlyn's going to do to him. And if he gets into the middle of the team when he presses his Stoneplate, I think you're right. I don't think anything kills him quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of which team is more effective at diving past the tank line of Spanos on one side, Ollie on the other. And I have to say, it definitely looks like Primetails have the better comp design for this, but the disengage coming out of Firefly Squad is very strong as well, with the Morgana, with the Zyra. So we'll see how these fights continuing to unfold. And as you said, I think I'm looking at Bafu to see if he can just get that bit more value. Just ult for your team, maybe. Just peel for your carry, or follow up on Coron, maybe trying to CCTs down. And they might be able to actually take some strong wins, get themselves back in here. As they are still actually, I say back in, they're back to 500 gold ahead, so...
Yeah, we're flip-flopping around in the gold. I think, to your point, I think Primetails might need to just opt into doing a front-to-back now. You know, Ollie's really strong. He can tank up a lot of stuff. And Gekno is their main damage. You know, he's got 3 kills. He's got his Storm Razor completed. You know, he's gonna do a decent amount of damage. Ornn doesn't really even have an armor item finished yet, so he can shred through people right now. I think they need to opt into a front to back for next fight. It's literally not the way their comp is designed to play. It's a dive comp for sure, but I think the front to back might just be better for them because Corrin and Drift Banksy and Bufu can generate a lot of pill for Gekno in fights.
Yeah, I mean, to your point about Gekno as well, he's doing very well this game, despite the fact that he 3-3-3 looks a lot worse than 5-1-5, but he does have that 30 CS lead, and he is actually basically even on gold with Exizio. They're both at just under 8k. The only differences in gold on this Rift are Ollie's lead over Spunner's and Electrofire's lead over Vi, and I think the Cho'Gath's lead is more impactful in this game at this point. Electrofire is very much a one-note champion, as is Corrin. They both have one button that they press to really be useful, and, you know, no matter how much gold they have, they're still going to press that button.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be about how quickly it takes them to kill, or how long it takes them to kill Ollie and Spanners in these fights. And Ollie right now is definitely going to survive longer.
Speaking of surviving longer, Bufu is locked in a stone plate of his own. He's going for the thematic item buy with the Gargoyle stone plate on Galio. And this is an interesting one because he is dying quite quickly, but it's not going to help him get the kills he seems to want to get. As we have a Spanners TP now into this river, they are going to easily walk out of it. We'll see if Spanners goes for the Ornhorn. There it is. Started up. Here comes that second charge. Lands onto Bufu. He's up against the wall. Rooted as well. Does have a stone plate if he wants to pop it, but he's just going to get CC down. Pops it very late, and Spanners can flash over to secure it easily. Looks like going to try and beat down Spanners a little bit to push him back, but Tease is rocking up to the party as well. And they are just going to have to give up control of this river. Dragon will be up very soon. It might not be up in time. It might be possible for Bufu to TP or ult back in as Ollie has stepped up, got himself locked up. Tease has a feast as well, so that's a lot of true damage. Extra power on Silas, flashes past that Q. Drift Banky drops a Solar Flare, knocked up by Corrin and followed up by Gekno. Tease has gone down. This is now a 4 versus 4. Zyra ult comes down, kited away for the side of Prime Tails, gets a stun onto Spanners. The curtain call has come out, they're trying to break him down. Ollie is very low. Can he get some work done now before he goes down? A feast comes onto Spanners, but it won't get the kill. Gekno, on the meanwhile, kills Electrofire, and there's a TP in the backline. Bufu is in. This is his time, but he gets knocked up and Exizio slips away. The CC chain follows up onto Spanners, and they will finally burn this Ornn down with that punch from Corrin. Exizio hanging around. Draconi on the side. Do they want to do any more, or are they just going to call this one lost? It looks like they will. This is going to be another hour-long team fight extended into this Dragon take.
Yeah, I mean, Bufu died at the very beginning of that fight, and there was enough time to pass for him to get, respawn, get back into the fight. We're still going here, by the way.
Got another TP through. This is still going to be a 4 versus 4. Bufu goes straight in to slow them down. Corrin trying to finish them off. Doesn't know what it's to do. Gets that knock onto Tease. They are going to finish off again. Another big crit from Gekno into that ult from Bufu as well. Draconi's there. Another TP comes in from Ollie. He does not have the feast to secure, but they are going to get it off the back of Gekno. And finally, I think we're done here, Cliff.
I think we are done. Let me just try and digest what happened in that fight. So after Bufu died, Prime Tails played a front-to-back fight, and they won the fight. You know, Bufu was dead. Yeah. They were in a 4v5. They just kited back. They protected Gekno, and Gekno did so much damage as they walked back. Ollie was just an absolute tank. It took them a good, 30 seconds of just hitting him before he even died. He got to flash out and come back in before he died. So, the front to back with the massive Cho'Gath is definitely the way they want to play this game now. It kind of just proves it to me after that fight that if they play it like that, they have a real good chance at winning.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone had their moment in the sun in that fight except for Tease. Tease kind of hung around. He showed up a little late to the river, goes in, gets CC'd and dies, TP's back in, gets CC'd and dies. He just actually had no impact on either of those fights, and I'd like to see him and Spanners on the same page. It seems like only one of them is ever going in at a time, and if they're both in there for Spanners to absorb the pressure and Tease to maybe get some damage off or use some powerful ults of his own, we could see some impact. But right now, the Silas just kind of is going a bit unnoticed.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a big spike here, though. So Spanners just got his 13 kills worth of gold for free because he upgraded his 2 items. He hit level 13. So, Ornn is very, very tanky now. So a front to back is going to be a lot closer, but Ollie has a 2-level lead on him. It's kind of insane. He's almost level 16, and Spunner's only just dinged 13, so...
Yeah, this is a very massive lead in this top side, and we'll need to see if these fights keep playing out the same way. As we'll need to see if it just kind of goes back into a dragon fight, as a lot of, BL split 4 games do tend to just kind of devolve into farming it up, wait for the objective to spawn, and then have a fight. But we have a lot of people converging onto this top side, onto Spunners, and I'm hoping they're going to go for this one. They don't have a tower available to back them up. 4 people are going to show up onto a ward. Spunners is going to know he's going to get himself away. So they do try and go for it. Spy might still go for it, actually. He is actually going to go back for that ward zone. Not going to go too ham there, as now mid's getting pushed against.
Yeah, they could lose mid tower here for sure. A bit, over-eager to send 4 people up to kill the Ornn. Because they're going to take a lot of damage on the mid tower. So, they don't lose anything for it, but maybe some CS, bit of gold. It's an optimistic play, though. I don't even know if they catch the Ornn, they kill him.
Yeah, it would take a lot of work for sure to burn through this guy. The amount of respect given by Xizio and Draconi was pretty good there as well, because they have no vision on that top side. A lot of the Baron area and river is entirely dominated by Prime Tails, so they are going to have to try and keep an eye on this river, Firefly squad, so they don't get anything snuck away from them, or they know that they can be safe going into their jungle, as they're going to have to try and get a foothold onto this map at some point. It's still only 2 towers to 1, even gold as well, so these fights could go either way for sure.
With the way this game's been playing out, I'd like to see somebody try and get dragon control a lot earlier than they've been attempting it. Both teams have been walking in there with about 30 seconds left to go before the dragon spawns. I'd like to see Drift Banksy and Koran walking in there, now, setting up vision in the river, setting up vision in the bot side jungle of the Firefly squad, securing it, and then looking for a pick straight away. It would be such a nice play, because Bafu can farm the bot side wave from really far back and join that fight instantly.
Yep, he's still going tanky as well. He's got a Spectre's Cowl on there now, so potentially, an adaptive helm coming in I would like to see off this one. And it's going to be, we'll see if that one pays off if these fights play out. It's interesting that the gold lead for Gekno as well is about 1200, 1300 gold, but it's entirely eaten up by that QSS, so there's the item power, the damage power level is still in Oxizio's favor in these fights, but Gekno does have a lot of survivability. Flash Cleanse and QSS means it is going to be hard for, people like Electrofire who only have the 1 binding to actually get the job done, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with the QSS here. He has the cleanse. If he needs the extra protection, there's no suppressions on Firefly squad, so if he needs the extra protection, I think he should be telling Drift Banksy to get him a Mikhail's. But maybe he just doesn't have the trust.
They're going to find Draconi there, but the Black Shield will get them away, and Bafu ult is used, so that's a couple of big cooldowns. Curtain Call is coming through, but looks like they're not going to get a kill off the back of it. Ollie is here, all 5 members in the pit, as the dragon will be spawning shortly, but not enough time. We're going to see a 5v5 here once again as Spanos is making his way over. He's got a stone plate of his own as well, and the Warmog's on Ollie, so we'll need to see who can actually kill the tank here. Bafu gets locked up, takes a bit of damage, but not really that much considering the lack of armor he currently has. The dragon not being pulled out still by Karan, and the Tease has got a Galio ult, so needs to, he wants to go in here. Spunner's on the backside, is going to start that lockup. Bafu is deep in to start the fight off once again. Draconi gets knocked up, takes a lot of damage from the traps and gets knocked up by Ollie, but now in comes the Bafu ult from Tease, lands in. Ollie still soaking up a lot of pressure here. Spunner's zoning out the rest of Prime Tails. Bafu's back in with a stun, but is going to get easily soloed out again. Can they kill Spunners before the rest of the team shows up? He's so tanky, and the reload comes through from Jin. They can't get it done. Tease still on full HP, and now the blue squad here, Firefly squad, can go straight back, get themselves that 3rd dragon.
They did really well at the start of it. They forced Electrifier's flash really, really early. Before they even started the dragon, they forced his flash out, and they just hadn't done their due diligence by placing wards in Firefly Squad's spot side jungle there. So they just let Firefly Squad walk back in. They didn't try and pressure the chokehold, and Bafu just being too far forward, tanking 4 people whilst the rest of his team were sort of wandering around waiting to do something. He was basically dead before the fight started. And, Spunners has hit his spike, so
Yeah.
You don't kill an Ornn that quickly. He's got Stone Plate, he's got the 2 upgraded items. He literally just upgraded Caitlyn's Infinity Edge. They did that after the fight. But it's the clock has run out now. I think now the game is going to just tick more and more and more into Fireflies' favor.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the differential when you have pretty much a mirrored fight there, with Ollie soaking up 3 members of Firefly Squad on one side, Spunners on the other, soaking up 3 members of Prime Tails. But Firefly Squad have 3 Leandries and a Caitlyn, as opposed to a Jhin, Leona, and a Vi. So the amount of tank busting power on the side of Firefly Squad there in that setup is just not equivalent at all to what Prime Tails is bringing, and we can see that Spunners was able to just soak it up and get away, whereas Ollie, despite his gold lead, was the one going down.
Yeah, I think Prime Tails need to do the fights like they did the one in the bot side jungle for them, where they kited back, they gave Gekno space to shoot spells out.
Oh, come on, so everyone took Xizio. They're going to get the CC chain lockup with that ult, and that's easily secured. Gekno grabs a rampage. Lovely pick there from Prime Tails.
That was a nice pick. I wonder if they can actually do anything with it, or if it's just a pick. All of Firefly Squad are hovering to this top side here, so you'd like to see them just, pressure the mid tower. Spunners is, can be cancelled very easily by Bufu, so they should get this one. That's a good trade. That's nice. Oh, they're not going to get it. They're too scared.
Yeah. They are going to give a lot of respect there without the Vial, and they do have the Leonel as well, so I think they maybe could have stuck around to just posture it out with Bufu coming over, but it is going to live. So they got the kill, they got more damage onto Gekno, got damage on that mid tower, so still something for nothing, just maybe not as much as it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. They get the pick. Gekno gets more gold, but they need to accelerate this game if they're gonna win. They're up 300 gold on the chart, or the gold graph, but that doesn't include the fact that Ornn has 2 upgraded items and Caitlyn has an upgraded item. So we take that, and he's literally upgrading another item right now. So if we take that into account, they are down in gold. Yeah, they are way down in gold.
Yeah, and as we said before, like their team comp just scales better, and items like Leandries, these are more and more important in team fights. Whereas Leona, no one really cares what Leona does once she's in the fight. Once she's thrown the Solar Flare and Zenith Blade, that's your one move once again. And if you're not doing any damage at that point, Zyra is going to melt you, and Tease is going to melt you. Xizio, if he gets out of that one, he's going to melt you. So it's very much that burst combo they're looking for, the CC chain to get something done if they can't find that perfect kite back and kind of allow Firefly Squad to put their own foot in their mouth in the team fight, as it were, by misplaying it somewhat.
Yeah, and Zyra and Morgana, they actually stack the Leandry so easily. Yeah. And Morgana just needs to put a pull down and have a couple of people walk into it, and she will stack it so quick. Zyra has the plants to poke people out. They end up doing a lot of damage in these extended fights for sure.
Yeah, it looks like we have a Baron dance developing here. The side of Firefly Squad want to take control of the river. They're not going to flip it just yet. They know the danger of coin flipping against seasoned coin flip masters in Prime Tails, but they are going to take control of the river. Dragon is coming up pretty soon as well, so I imagine we'll be waiting for that one, and we'll need to see if the red team Prime Tails can get another win in their pocket. Ollie's in that top side. He's got TP, Bafu as well. Everything is online for pretty much both of these teams.
Yeah, again though, not enough due diligence done. Nobody's getting there early enough. Prime, they have a free pass to walk in there right now, that they see Spunners and they're like, no, I don't want to go anywhere near it. I don't want to get caught. So now they have they just have the crab vision, and that is it. They don't know where anyone else is. It's so scary to walk in right now, even as Fort, because if Spunners hits a good ult on you, you lose a fight instantly.
Exactly. We've seen them lose 2 dragons now. Oh, flash over from Bufu. He doesn't want to wait. He wants to get stuck in here onto Electrify. The stun combo is good, and Gekno goes unstoppable, trying to find more. That follow-up onto Xizio bursts down to nothing. That's the pick they needed, Cliff, and back onto the dragon they go.
Yeah, the Galileo ult maybe a little bit too much there. There's no way Caitlyn survives a Vi in a Jhin, but okay, I appreciate it.
Are they going to go for the Baron here? There's 2 still dead, 30-second death timers. This is an easy Baron for sure.
Yeah, this is 100% a free Baron. The only way they don't get this Baron is if T steals Cho'Gath's ult. So if I'm Cho'Gath, I don't walk anywhere near it.
Imagine. They've got Spunners to set up, and Draconi can do some damage. It's a relatively strong 3-man team from the side of Firefly Squad. The game is still winnable for them. Here they come. They don't want to give it away. Tease is on the side now. Here comes the Call of the Forge God. Gets a knockup. Doesn't land it at all. And now has just walked in. Maybe they've turned off the Baron so far. The Draconi getting a lot of damage down. They are going to burst down Draconi pretty easily here as Spawners and Tease are now in. Galio ult secured by Bafu, but he just gets completely tanked up, and Tease is going to fall, followed by Spawners, and they're just disjointed on the fight. Baron secured by Prime Tails.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be giving Spawners on again after this. I think we've seen him hit, what, 2 people in total with it on ults this game?
Yeah, not the best.
It's a bit yikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a matchup. I didn't expect the top matchup to be explosive or anything. He had good TPs. He's playing his top lane tank role correctly, but just not quite piloting the champion to the skill that we need. If they can be joined up and synchronized on that engage, then it can be amazing. You get Spawners followed up by Tease with Bafu's ultimate, get this massive combo. Tease can last so long. Draconi gets the ultimate. It could be sick, but it's just not. The execution isn't quite there for the side of Firefly Squad, and that's kind of been the story of the game. They've fumbled a few too many catches so far, and their stronger scaling team comp is just still not getting it done.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good pick behind the Dragon pick. Corrin pressing the go button, which is exactly what you need in VL, is go buttons. It's a fantastic go button. And, Vi, Jin, and Leona, if you get caught by the Viol, you die so quickly. They managed to pick Electrifire, and they managed to kill Ciccio, so everything was free after that. They knew that it was free as well. They took the Dragon, they went straight to the Baron. Let's see what they can do with this Baron now. If they can exploit it, go to a 1-3-1, which they are doing now, it's difficult to push into a Zyra or Caitlyn. Zyra can just pop her seeds and slow everything down. If they play with their cannons, look at that.
Yeah.
You can't walk into that. You take so much damage.
Barely even got a shot off. And we saw Bafu attempting to push in Spawners before, and Spawners can just win trades against Bafu. Like, Bafu is tanky. He's tank Galio with the Proto Belt, and Spawners is literally Ornn. So, you're never going to win, the tank warfare against Ornn, but you are going to maybe get the Baron minions in just because you can't clear them. Ollie into Tease, I think I like that a lot, because Ollie can, match the healing, and he's got the feast to get a surprise kill. They get this mid turret down, Top's pushing in bot as well, so this is nice controlled play from Prime Tails. We'll see how long they last.
Yeah, they just got to play with their cannons, really. If you're Bafu, you're just clearing waves, you're just escorting. You're never going to fight and kill Spawners. If you try and fight under the tower, you will lose 100% of the time. As long as they keep the waves synchronized here, and have Corrin floating between the 2 lanes to try and make sure they don't get picked in the side lanes, they should be able to kill this top tower and the bottom tower.
Tease needs to be careful. He dives out of there on Drift Banksy into support, but if he gets blocked up here, dodges, flashes away, and throws the GLP to get himself to safety. But that was looking a little hairy. That turret goes down as well. TP from Spawners deep into the backline, but interrupted by Bafu, and the side of Prime Tails can just walk away. A binding lands onto the Cho'Gath, followed up by the Sisu. They are burning through him with Tease as well, but in comes that Snowflake and munched him down, followed by the ultimate onto Electrofire. Down goes the Zhonya's, but now Xizio is the next target. Just dived on as they'll catch Electrofire coming out of that Zhonya's as well. They've got the kills now. The Baron buff has just worn off, but it's another big team fight win for Prime Tails.
Yeah, Spawners wasn't there. They can kill everyone else on the team so quickly. Spawners is the only one they can't kill, so they win the 4v4s. It's good to see them press their go buttons and abuse the fact that they are stronger in that matchup. Bafu does well to cancel the Ornn ult. Spawners teleporting in such a peculiar place. It's like he almost forgot that Galio has 2 ways to cancel the teleport. Yeah. He literally backed or teleported right next to the minion wave. So yeah, I don't know, bit of another mistake from Spawners there, but Bafu did well to punish it. He didn't give it a second thought, he just went straight for it.
Yeah, just getting a little bit itchy fingers there on Spawners' side, and first TP that he's had that doesn't really go anywhere. So now the Dragon coming up here should be easy pickings for the side of Prime Tails. That is going to be the triple Cloud Soul Cho'Gath that we were fantasizing about And now Ollie is very much activated here. He's almost got full build as well. This Cho'Gath is absolutely gigantic. I'm just going to see how much health he has. He currently has 6,000 HP on this Cho'Gath pre-Stone Plate as they've caught Tease again. Bufu coming in to follow up and Ollie's waiting over the wall. Tease just not having a good day at all. Bufu picks up his first kill of the game and now that's going to be another window surely for more of these towers to fall.
Another questionable flash from Bufu, but okay, it's fine. We take those. Yeah, T's just caught out position. I think this might be the Cho'Gath Dragon Wet Dream, by the way. 1 mountain, 3 clouds. Like, he's gotta love that.
He's absolutely loving that one. I guess you could have 3 clouds and then the Mountain Soul as the last one somehow, if that was even possible.
I don't know if that's possible.
I don't think it's possible, but like that's why it's a dream. It's never going to happen in reality, but I mean, Cho'Gath would be happy with that one. So he's going to walk back there. The Feast, of course, is online again. Tease is going to be up in almost 15 seconds with TP as well, but we're still waiting to see anything out of this Sylas pick, if I'm honest.
Yeah, Tease he had a good early game, and since the early game, he's just had 0 pressure. I don't know, they've done well to, front to back against him and focus him down in fights, so he's really, really ineffective. He's had a couple of times where he's been caught out, and now they can just macro down the rest of this map. They're at the point now where they have that lead. Baron's up in 10 seconds. If they secure this Baron, they win. If they don't secure this Baron right now and the game goes 5 more minutes, I don't think they win this. Like, we're still at the point where even though they're 9k gold up right now, because of all items, it's still really close in gold.
Yep, Spanos is going to get quote-unquote caught in the jungle, but there's a lot of people here actually. Forces the flash, Bufu not going to get that taunt. A nice Stranglethorns over the top, maybe catching a bit of over-aggression. Drift Banksy is going to get attacked on by Tease now. The Ornalt does land, Bufu coming in now, but so much pressure onto Exizio, he can't escape the duo. Draconi falls as well, and Ollie still on the backside trying to get it done. Does have Feast still. They do get the knock-up onto Tease, and that is going to be another kill going down for Sylas. Gets a heal for now, gets knocked up against the wall, and the Feast is used. Electrofire dodges the Zenith Blade, but caught up by the Rupture. Silence will come through again, another combo, and another brilliantly played team fight by Prime Tails. They're going to lock up the first win in this series.
That was a very eventful game. Back and forth for a long time there, but once Prime Tails got the proper strong foothold in it, they did not stop. It's good to see that once they knew they were ahead, they were, gunning for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Really nice performance there from Prime Tails. A lot of players stepping up at different moments there. I love the impact that Ollie had. I think he was an absolute force this game. Coron did exactly what we wanted him to do on this Vi, getting in and amongst it nice and early and never stopping, always forcing Exizio back and, pressuring them out. And yeah, I think the only thing that really stands out to me is the fact that Tease couldn't get much done on this Sylas. They banned away his Cassio, they banned away his Yasuo, and it looked like it really hurt him this game. Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. I think... sorry, I just got distracted by getting my pick onto rolls. Let me just check the damage real quick, because I'm very interested to see... Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to look like. T's only doing 13k damage. The damage really was coming from the Zyra, the Caitlyn, and the Morgana. Tease was kind of unimpactful in almost every fight. I mean, Bufu looked like he was hard running it at one point, and he still did more damage than Tease.
Yeah, he's building full tank Galio apart from Protobelt, and he's doing more damage than Tease, who's hit, almost 4 items on Sylas by there. It seems like in all of these fights, we never see Tease on Gekno. We never see him on Coron having a 1v1 against the Vi. Champions that he can actually beat at this point. He's always trying to burn through Ollie, which he can't do, or he's trying to catch out Drift Banksy on the backside of the fight, who still has Stoneplate, and he can't do it. It's just never finding the right position for Sylas to be in these fights. As you said, the side of Prime Tails ended up kind of just front to backing a lot of these fights, and it worked out really well from them because they have this beefy 4-man front line because of the full tank Galio. And Gekno is so much, he's got all the peel he could ever want in that stage.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Once they they changed up the style in the mid game for how they played the fights, and it really, really worked out for them. They front to back half the fight, and the second that Corin could get onto Exizio and just be him and Exizio, Exizio can't do anything. You can't kite away from that. The Galio can follow. So it was a well played. The later stage of fights was really well done by Prime Tales.
Sure, and it looks like, as you say, great adaptation throughout this game. This looks like a more considered team than we expected in Firefly Squad. While they had plenty of good points, they are going to need to step it up to keep themselves in this series. We are going to go to a short break before we come back with Game 2 of this series. Please, everybody, stay tuned. And we are back for Game 2 of this series here, Firefly Squad versus Prime Tales, here in Division 4 at Valance League. We had a spicy game on, a lot of back and forth fights. A lot of tank builds in that game here for Division 4, but Firefly Squad did end up falling to Prime Tales. Let's see what they can do to bounce back in this series, as we are going to get to pick and ban very shortly.
So we were talking between the break, and I think that maybe the early rotation of Ornn and Jungle Morgana, like the flex is fine, but taking the Morgana to the jungle and picking Ornn early, let Prime Tales get away with having a really unpunished Cho'Gath topside.
Yeah, for sure. He was just completely not unkillable. He did go die a couple times, but virtually so, and took so much effort to kill. And when you have the utility that Cho'Gath brings with your feast for objectives, the rupture can disrupt a fight so hard. Silence is so rough against things like, silence is so rough against things like Silas. That Cho'Gath really was a hugely impactful pick for Ollie.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily that the Cho'Gath itself was the problem, but the fact that Cho'Gath got to become so tanky for so free. They didn't really punish it, and it's not like you can punish it very freely, but I don't think Electrofire went top lane once to gank in game 1.
No, I don't think either of them really went top at any point. It was all about these mid and bot lane fights going back and forth, and they were just farming it out, whereas Ollie, doesn't use as many TPs as Spunners does, but ends up getting that CS lead. When he does show up, he always gets a lovely feast off, got big shutdowns on Electrofire and Exizio throughout that game, and that really did snowball his lead, as the bans have been pretty much the same so far. We've got that Kindred ever present for Electrofire, Follow Bear and Ash once again taken away by Firefly Squad.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to ban Kindred away from a Kindred main that has Kindred in their club tag. The Young comes out as well. I'm pretty sure that was banned last game. Mm-hmm. So no changes here. I'd like to see... Okay, the Vi ban is fine. I was going to say I'd like to see maybe a Vi ban, but that does leave the Hecarim up for Corin. And if he doesn't pick it early rotation, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, it doesn't have a 67% win rate, but it is still very, very strong, and he's going to be fulfilling that same role, and they're actually going to nab it away. Electrofire denying that pick from Corin there. Yeah,
that's a good deviation to the plan. You ban the champion, he played well last game, and you pick the champion, he plays a lot. He played it last week as well. So, Hecarim's not a hard champ to play. I think Electro plays it as well, so good deviation to the pick ban from first game. And Hecarim is also a jungler that can provide a lot of pressure early.
Yeah, we do have a Shen now coming through. That was one of the bans that FFS laid down in the second rotation. And Ollie is most likely going to be taking this one, though of course it can be flexed to jungle and support if needed. Ollie, though, clearly a very proficient tank player, as we saw from that game 1. Gekno opting back into that Jhin blind.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the same AD carries as we saw in game 1. I mean, a little bit predictable maybe. The Mordekaiser pick, okay, that's decent into Shen, but I think Shen doesn't have a particularly hard time against Mordekaiser either. I think he... Yeah, I don't know. He can do fine. It could be the Mordekaiser gets ahead in that matchup. He just bops Shen every single time they fight.
Yeah, as long as he can get that, passive proc, he's pretty much laughing. If Shen can actually deny that, if you get pulled in and queued and you use your Spirit's Refuge to dodge the auto attack and he can't get the actual passive off, you can get your trade in and then walk away. So it's possible for Ollie to win this one, but I think it's harder for Shen. He does have to actually put in work and effort and timing into his trading, whereas spawners can just be like, well, my abilities are up, let's throw it out, see if I get it.
Mace go bonk.
Yeah, exactly.
From the look of Prime Tales' draft already, it looks like they are drafting towards another make sure Gekno can get damage down in fights. Leona's got really good pill and really good engage. Shen has good pill and good engage. it's going to be interesting to see where they follow it up. Cassiopeia ban going down on Tease, definitely a champion that we know Tease is good on. Oh, Galio ban, a bit of a bait there, I think.
Yeah, I think the Galio is a bit of a bait ban for Bufu. I think he when it came to the later on, the ults were coming down a little early, and certainly in the early and mid game, he was being a bit of a liability at times. So, I mean, they've already locked in the top lane, so you don't have to start banning away those anymore, realistically. But it's still an interesting ban, I think, when you could take away more Quran champions.
Yeah, I think the Morgana ban's fine. Galio very much a bait. Mundo. Okay.
Expecting the Gekno Mundo pick. It is his most played, I'm pretty sure, on his GG. It's actually his second most played with a 65% win rate. So maybe they're expecting the switch, but who knows?
I have played with Gekno's Mundo before. He hard clapped one of the mods in a scrim game we filled against the mod team. Gekno popped off hardcore on the Mundo, but I don't think he'll be playing it this game, so that's a weird ban to me.
I think that both the Galio and the Mundo ban are very questionable when now the Shyvana has been locked in for Coron. This is absolutely his third best pick, by a significant margin. And Shyvana does give them a really nice AP threat in this game now. They haven't even locked in their mid laner, but the amount of damage that Shyvana can throw out as the game goes on is really not to be sniffed at.
Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know if Fireflies have a coach or at least a drafter, but yeah, the Galio ban was a bit of a bait. Definitely banning the Shyvana when you look at what they had beforehand was really good because they lacked a significant damage threat, and Bufu played tank last game. Yeah. Are we going to go with a Lucian mid here? I would be excited to see T's on Lucian mid. Okay, I like this.
It's a decent blind pick if they're coming into this mid lane. It does give him a bit more agency, a bit more flexibility in that lane to be in and out. And if he is going to go in blind, it's pretty good. They've got that Zillion, they've got the Mordekaiser for a bit of AP threat as well. So I like that pick.
Now I'm just curious how Bufu wants to answer this. There's certain champions that do really well. He's going to go, okay, we're getting Bufu Tristana. All right, so let me explain something to you here, Trajan. Part of the reason why Bufu is a coin flip player is because he lost to press W on Tristana, and he will press it every opportunity he sees to press it, except he doesn't press it in the right way. He never goes out of fights. He only goes into fights. He will just W on your face. The second he gets a chance to press W, he's going to W on you. So I guarantee you, level 2, Bufu is pressing W on T's.
I mean, given how we saw him play Galio last game, I would not be surprised at all if that's how he chooses to go. And Lucian is pretty fine with that, to be honest. If you can dodge the W and then just, Relentless Pursuit, dash your way back, press the attack, and then just kite it out, especially once, you come later into the lane and culling is a thing, you just kite back the engage, drop the culling on Tristana, and now... well, she's dead. So, I mean, hopefully Bufu can get away with this lane without actually completely throwing it away. Maybe that level 2 engage will catch T's unawares. I assume there'll be an ignite coming through for Bufu as well, but it's possible. I mean, Tristana, once we get to that late game, is going to be a much bigger threat than T's.
So you have certain moves like the X-Peke, which is backdooring on Kassadin. In VL, we have a few of those. The most popular one is a Bufu, which is going in on an AD carry. Nice. I'm so excited to see this, and so hopeful that Bufu just runs it down this game, because that will make my day. That would just make my day to watch Bufu flip tails for a second game in a row, but this time be on Tristana.
Yeah, I am assuming that Firefly Squad are also crossing their fingers for a Bufu low roll this one, as across the rest of the map, the Mordekaiser is very different in this top lane for sure. It's going to give Spunners a lot more agency to win top lane, and he's going to be looking to win, be impactful in fights in a different way. But the other 4 members are going to be playing this out fairly similarly. They're all going to be wanting to use the mid game spikes to get a lot of damage out. Tease is going to be playing a bit differently, but Exizio is still on Caitlyn. Draconi is still on range. CC heavy. AP, so I'm expecting similar playstyle out of them, but the big difference here is they're not against the Vi, they're against the Shyvana. Electrofire can actually be the power in the jungle now. Yeah,
it's Draconi's definitely on a champion which is a lot harder to execute on. Zillion's a lot harder to play well than Zyra is. The big plus side that Firefly Squad have given themselves to this game is Spunners has an ultimate he can't miss. So hopefully, Spunners presses R on the right targets.
I was gonna say, you say that, but you know, if he just comes in and ults Leona every time while Buffoo's his way into the backline and 1v9s, then I guess we'll have to have words. But I think that I do trust him to pilot this one properly, as he does have a fair amount of bruiser experience and stuff in his repertoire. He's not just a tank player. We'd see if he's able to make this one work here. This is such an interesting matchup here, where Buffoo is going more aggressive and Karon is now stepping back. The fact that the mid-jungle duo of Karon and Buffoo is not really there anymore. These champions are not playing the same way in the early game, especially. Whereas Electrofire and Tease, they are going to be able to do the Buffoo Karon from last game. They're going to be able to go in and take these skirmishes whenever they want and most likely win.
Yeah, they definitely win the early 2v2 there. Hecarim Lucian against Shyvana Tristana before 6, they win that so hard. And even at 6, when Shyvana doesn't really have any items, they still win it really easily. So they need to play these ones carefully. Hopefully Electrofire, the ball is now in his court about how he plays out the early game. He now needs to try and slow Shyvana down. It's quite difficult to slow Shyvana down, admittedly, but he needs to slow Shyvana down. He needs to help Tease get pressure and then use Tease's pressure to, maybe punish Shen topside or get his bot lane ahead. Leona into Zilean, another one of those matchups where Leona can just go on Zilean early and kill Zilean. So hopefully Draconi doesn't step too far forward again. But I'd be very interested to see this. We also get a phase rush hacker in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a Ghost and phase rush chasing down that Shyvana is going to be very tough to escape from. I think it's a decent call here for sure. They already win that 2v2 and a bit of utility there. It will not go amiss. Buffoo has actually gone for the TP, not the Ignite. So if he jumps in at level 2 against Ignite Lucian without Ignite, then he's just gonna get rolled. Yeah.
The one big surprise for me in the summoner spells here is Zilean with Ignite as well. I'm not sure. I probably would have taken Exhaust myself.
Against the Tristana and Shyvana when she goes in, it probably would have been a decent pick. You can potentially even put the heal onto Zilean and then take Exhaust on Caitlyn or Barrier on Caitlyn if you want to go super safe. So yep. Are at 10. And here we go for game 2 here. Prime Tails versus Firefly Squad. We're going to see if we get another 5-point here. There's no more Ghana on the field this time as well, so unlikely to see any more aggression. We'll need to see if they do the same ward patterns, as we did see a lot of action from Karon early last game on that Vi. Obviously not piloting a similar champion this time, but we'll need to see if Electrofire can get the same tempo on this Hecarim.
Yeah, if he gets some early tempo, if he can get, a fight topside, maybe take Ollie's flash early, give Spunners a real nice long lane topside to punish the Shen, I'd like to see him do that. Hecarim is the kind of champion where you can punish the map quite early, especially when you're going into a Shyvana who cannot punish a map pre-6 and even at 6 can't punish very heavily. It's going to be a lot on... his lane's going to run it down this game. Is Draconi going to get caught out? If Drift Banksy gets on Draconi again, like last game, even with Flash, I think he just dies. So it's a lot on positioning in the bot lane, and I don't know. I favor the Leona into the Zilean matchup, but if we get to like 35 minutes, I don't know how anybody's gonna kill Lucian.
No, I mean, well, so yeah, it depends what Draconi chooses to do, because where you drop that chrono shift is very impactful, and you can completely throw a team fight by ulting the wrong person, or ulting too soon, or forgetting to ult in time. There's a lot of ways you can ruin the Zilean ult, so if it's once again on Draconi to have that button pressing ability and have that timing down, which only like an experienced Zilean player can really be expected to have. He is landing his first bomb there, but we'll need to see how this develops into that mid-gamers. If you can get the utility that he drafts this champion for.
Yeah, Tease is already getting a lot of pressure onto Buffoo. He chunks him out heavily there. He's up in CS. He's forcing Bufu away from the wave. You should be able to catch this one, find it. That was a good Q.
Yeah, he's really extending it. He's a level 2. Onto Draconi once again. The deadly flourish. It's just a mirror of game 1. But the shield comes out. One more shot from Gekno secures it. But another tower shot. He takes it. The stun from Driftbanksy. A flash and a heal. He slips away. Driftbanksy and Gekno, they pull the same stun 2 games in a row. He's back in deadly flourish. Into that front. Gekno walks into a peacemaker but doesn't die. Exizio's got to be tearing his hair out this game. The stun. Can he get it? Exizio goes down. It's 2-0 this time.
Oh, I think I'm psychic, by the way, because
actual genius.
I spoke about it so much, and he just steps too far forward. They don't get 2 first, and Leona punishes them for trying to attempt to get 2 still. You just have to give the lane up. The second Leona hits 2, it's your lane's done. You wait until the wave is at your tower.
Yeah, it runs towards you, Draconi. You don't have to chase it into the middle of the lane. It's gonna come to you. Don't worry, my friend. But he goes down so close as well. Gekno getting out by the skin of his teeth twice in 10 seconds is really, really tough for Exizio to see there, as now there's a big CS deficit. Last time when this happened, Exizio could still farm it up, but he went down this time. He loses the whole wave.
Yeah, now the wave's slow pushing back towards Gekno as well, so he's not going to lose a lot of minions at all. He can just play this perfectly safe. Driftbanksy can just roam now and help Corrin out. The lane might just be over for Caitlyn already.
Very, very tough there. Top lane we are looking at right now, and Ollie and Spunners are having a pretty even time. Pretty similar of last game. Spunners will be slightly up in CS though. We're not seeing Ollie get too feisty early on. Knows he's playing Shen. He's got a very defined role to play. He's got to keep his eyes on Bufu in the mid game for the Stand United. So doesn't want to fall behind at the very least. Just wants to keep himself level.
Oh, I feel so bad for Exizio because Draconi did the same thing 2 games in a row.
Oh, especially he comes so close to the kill. He just has to look over to support. Are you okay? We're having an absolute nightmare here, guys. But now we have Bufu getting that lane pushed in finally against Tease. Hasn't used that TP yet, and is still up in CS. Slightly, wave allowing. I imagine if Tease will get most of this, it'll still be pretty even, but this is fine. Bufu, he did not run it down 3-6, we can at least say. Oh, we got another engage onto Draconi, and Corrin is here to back up. Doesn't land that Q, so no extra damage, but there's no flash for Draconi. He's just going to get stunned up, and Gekno not going to get it, the shield! Clutch, the Guardian comes through to save his life, and he slips away this time, but Spunner's now on Ollie's tail. Makes sure he's not going to be able to slip away. He is going to walk back there, saves the flash. Now Bufu's jumping in. Now there's no mana on Tease, and he has the TP advantage. He can get aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, Draconi being too far forward again, getting caught out again, this is going to really snowball the gym. He's almost double CS the Caitlyn already. They're going to be able to get the early dragon bot side as well, which is going to really help Ollie out. He doesn't have to do much, just absorb the pressure from Mordekaiser now, and, his team is ahead on the other side of the map. That's exactly what you want to see. He's going to go for the steal play.
He comes in, goes for it, doesn't secure it though. It was a good try, but he's got to get punished. Bufu jumps in again, but Gekno sweeps up his second kill of the game.
That's so sad. He smited so early. It was a good attempt. It was a, you can praise him for trying, but it just looked like he ran it down. It's the kind of one where you have to accept, okay, we're going to lose this dragon. It's first Drake. It's not the end of the world. Yes, it's an Inferno, but it's not Soul. They're not stacking one dragon yet. We're only 5 minutes into the game. You're Hecarim. Just keep farming your jungle. Try and power farm to 6. Once you get to 6, you can, gank Gekno so easily. But he goes in, he loses a lot of tempo that way as well, and doesn't secure the dragon still. It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, it's absolutely a bummer there for Electrofire. Ollie is taking a lot of pressure, and Death Realm is on deck for Spunner, so he's got to play this one safe. I'd recommend a TP. He is sticking around with no potions, so we need to see if Spunners can get this sealed up now. Tease is back in lane, and they do have even items, but the fact that Bufu is even with Tease, I think it's definitely, I'd call this an absolute win.
Yeah, I mean, once Tristana gets to 6, they're both 6 now, but Tristana 6 is just a bit more impactful in a 1v1 against Lucian. If he all-ins the Lucian and he has a wave on his side, he can burst the Lucian out, He doesn't have any skill shots, so it's very difficult to for Lucian to really dodge anything other than the W. If you just wait for Lucian to use the E because he messed up his last hit, you can punish him really hard.
Yep, for sure, as they are now still even now, lane pushing in on the bot side. Electrofire did go back to farming, as you say. We've had the first backs dropped off in the top lane. It's actually a Ninja Tabby's buy for Ollie, so he is thinking of that late game or the mid game right now. Is going to leave him pretty vulnerable in that matchup for now, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. It doesn't really help him right now. Maybe the movement speed's nice. He can dodge a few extra Qs that way, but it doesn't help him against spawners, and he's going to be just matching up against spawners. Spawners is just going to be shoving that wave in continuously for a very long time, so he's not really even going to have the opportunity to leave. Again, the rest of the map is winning. He's Shen, so he hasn't had to impact it, and his team is already winning. So that's what you want to see. Spawners really needs to start snowballing this.
Tries to catch Draconi there, but does not get that locked up right now. Ult online Brazilian as well, so you can afford to play a little more aggressively with Electrofire waiting. They want to try and bait them in here. Does actually get that Zenith play, but Karon comes over. In comes that charge through onto Gekno. Forces him back. Looks as he's trying to do the damage, but that ult's already been used. Electrofire forced away now. Is getting locked up, and now the TPs are coming in thick and fast. Another kill goes down in the way of Prime Tails. Karon zoning out Exizio. Drift Banksy has been Mordekaiser ulted. The unthinkable we thought has happened. But can he get out of this realm and actually do some damage to Karon? Can he flash on? He doesn't have it left anymore, but the headshot comes through. That ace in the hole doesn't get it done. Bufu jumps in now to support the culling right in his face, but on the back of the explosion, the combo coming out of Prime Tails winning this bot lane fight.
Okay, I thought Bufu pulled an absolute Bufu there, but
I thought he messed it up real bad.
He ended up ulting. I don't know who it was. He ended up ulting somebody back and into somebody else who was already getting Jin W'd, so that was really nice for, good combo of damage there. Prime Tails are really pulling ahead now. Gekno is so far ahead, it's actually crazy. How much is he ahead? He's 1.4k ahead already, and we're 9 minutes into the game. He's going to get another plate here. Oh, maybe not, he was 1 auto away from getting another plate. But, if you are a Prime Tails fan and you see Gekno 3-0-4, 12 CS up already, you're very happy.
Yeah, Gekno has been really, really powerful for them there. An absolute star for Prime Tails in this game right now. The rest of the team doing well too. Electrofire comes into Ollie and knocks him back towards that tower. Looks like this will be easy to secure as Ollie does not have to flash. Spawners knocks it down. That is going to be at least a return kill for this Mordekaiser.
Yeah, Ollie fat fingering his E, maybe? Because there's no reason he should have ever gone in there. No vision of the Hecarim at all against the Mordekaiser. I don't think he ever 1v1s the Mordekaiser either, so...
Still no
bit of a mistake. He doesn't have enough damage. He doesn't have Titanic Hydra. He literally just has Tabbies and a Bambi Cinder, so he doesn't win that fight against Horny guys.
Absolutely not. If we look at the rest of the map here, the Infinity Edge has come on deck for Gekno here. We have hit a first power spike for this Jhin. It looks like the Tristana's itemizing towards the first time IE as well, whereas Tease does have to go into that Mana Moon right now, which does take a long time to stack up. He is going to fall behind the curve pretty significantly, I think, going into this mid-game, and then the Lucian pick doesn't really have that much impact. Does find Bafu there, ulting for a trade, instantly ults forward from Hecarim, but the burst coming through from Bafu almost takes him right out of there. Exizio is taking some damage on the backside from the bot side. Or Exizio dealing out some damage to Karon, I should say. Spawners has rocked up here, but Ollie is already in the vicinity. And there's no ultimate on Hecarim. Not really any chance for a steal. This is going to be the second dragon going over to Prime Tails.
Yeah, Prime Tails is really accelerating the game right here. It's good to see them take the mental tempo that they acquired at the end of last game and transition it here. The only weak point they have right now is Ollie, and he's just playing Shen, so, Shen's fine with being behind against Mordekaiser.
Absolutely, he has expected this one. He's not made it easier for himself with this build, but he's not going to be able to fix it just by building an All Magic Manual either. Does find the Hecarim fighting the Herald and opts into it. Electrofire, very weak themselves, and does have to walk away. Gekno showing up just in case, but I mean, we're talking about how weak Ollie is, but that Ninja Tabbies really works out there, I suppose.
Yeah, the Ninja Tabby does really well against the Hecarim. Yeah. If he can 1v1 Hecarim, he wins that every time, I think. but it does not help him against Mordekaiser's still. He's going to be so far behind in that matchup, and you know, Firefly Squad really needs Spawners to start bopping people fast if they're going to stay in this one.
Yeah, he's at least not given up any kills in this lane. It came close a couple of times, but he's not given up any huge amounts of pressure. There's only one plate gone down so far. It's unlikely to be any more than perhaps one more in Spawners before they fall off. And now we do have a lot of people rotating around these bottom mid lanes. Bafu is now solo in that bottom lane with Gekno rotated into the mid. Drift Banksy kind of floating between the two, looking for an opportunity to make a play. Electrifier is nowhere in the vicinity. Look like they want to go into this bot lane. Draconi is there, pretty far forward. They're going to get jumped by Karon, rooted up by that trap, though. Drift Banksy going to just easily go onto Draconi. Bafu gets himself another one, easy as that.
Oh, Draconi, man, come on! Why are you so far forward all the time?
It's Solar Flare goes a little wide, gets the slow though, catches the Zenith Blade with that curtain call to follow up. First shot misses, Onslaught of Shadows comes through to get them out of trouble. They are going to escape. T's actually forced Gekno to cancel, I think, by threatening him on the backside, so they get away without losing any more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, Firefly Squad look like they're falling apart here. Spanish just, if I'm Spanish right now, I'm ulting him, okay.
Straight into the into the Obliterate, and that is going to be that first kill we look for at that top lane.
He read my mind too.
So just do it to him, dude.
I was about to say, just ult him and kill him, come on now.
Yeah,
You're Mordekaiser.
There was no flash for Ollie. It's about to come up, but at that point he did not have anything to say there. Doesn't actually opt to knock down, go for any more plates. It is about to fall off, so maybe just doesn't think it's worth it. Going to go for a faster back instead. That kill is going to accelerate him towards that Leandries very nicely. We'll get straight into it. That's really nice for him.
Yeah, the Spanners still looks really strong here. He's got Tabbies as well. Tabbies is so good against the Prime Towers draft. He is the shining light that the Firefly Squad have now. 100% kill participation, 100% of the kills. Spanners needs to somehow, you know, get onto Gekno. I think he wins the 1v1 against Gekno. So
yes, with Ninja Tabbies as well and Leandris at this stage in the game, I think he probably can do it. I mean, Gekno has both the summoners, but the Splash and Spawners too. I think he would still win so far, because once, you know, Gekno can't kill him in one clip, and the reload timer is very painful when you're having to 1v1 a Mordekaiser.
I think this is the game where Gekno should go QSS, because the only way his team loses is if he gets Mordekaiser ulted and Mordekaiser kills him. Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, but that's a given.
Yeah, we're expecting at least one of those coming up in the near future. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. This would be a good game for him to use this even greater lead.
He did it. Okay.
Yeah, before he was only, you know, he was maybe 10, 1200 gold ahead, had like a rougher laning phase, but did manage to get it done. He's already 1600 gold ahead right now, and it's gone straight into that QSS.
Yeah, he's up in XP. You know, he still has both of his summoners. The only way his team loses a fight is if Mordekaiser ults him. QSS is such a good buy for him here. He doesn't lose any pressure from it because, you know, he's equal in stats basically with the Caitlyn, and the rest of his team is also ahead. So he doesn't need to be dealing all of the damage right now. He just needs to be supplementing the fact that he is a strong point and trying to slow down Fireflies' strong point. Really good buy.
Yeah, pretty much this is a Spawners versus the world game. He's gonna have to try and cosplay Team Liquid Impact, I think, in that first game where he played the Mordekaiser and completely won them the game. If he's gonna have any chance of getting this one locked in, we do see the customary Dragon Dance appearing here. Drift Banksy looking for a Zenith Blade over the wall, isn't going to find it. We do have a Rift Herald dropped as well to split that pressure with Karon forcing that one in. Both TPs, actually one TP available for Spawners, but Stand United will Bafu his way over the wall. Zenith Blade lands, and that's going to be the kill on that support. First turret down, a kill in Bafu's pocket, surely the Dragon to follow.
Yeah, that'll be Dragon 100%. Nice for Bafu to realize that, you know, you see the other three members bot lane, you know Mordekaiser's top, and you know Teasy's in that bush, just go on him. He burst Lucian down. It's the reason why the pick is fine, the Tristana pick is fine into the Lucian, because if you catch him in a 1v1, you just burst him. He can't live a full Tristana combo. It was really well executed. Drift Banksy flashes over the wall to help Bafu secure the kill. Rotated straight into the Dragon, and it's an Ocean Dragon as well. So Ocean Soul right now is so good for them.
Yeah, another Death Realm being popped on Ollie, getting a bit feisty under that tower. It is a flash forward from Spunners, flash from Ollie as well, but he's going to burn down to that passive, and Spunners, does he have the shield? He doesn't even need it, walks away from the explosion like a cool guy, but Corona here, actually lands towards the wall, but the Deadly Flourish from Gekno will follow it up, and Spunners not going to be able to escape. A big meaty shutdown in that Jin's pocket.
Yeah, that's, you know, he's Spunners is doing the right thing. Oh, here we go.
Electrify finds Karan slipping in the jungle there, but the flash away. Can he follow up the ghost? He chooses not to. He's too scared by the TP. Bafu jumping in once again to support his team. Another beautiful Deadly Flourish under proc from Bafu, and the explosive shot completely minces the Hecarim.
Gekno kind of smurfing this game. Okay.
These Deadly Flourishes are so on point.
Yeah, he's hit so many. They've been almost perfect. You know, the only weird thing that happened in that fight is for some reason Gekno flashed over into the Krug pit, but we let him do that if he's going to hit that many beautiful W's. So. Yeah,
we'll give him that one for sure. And I mean, now this team has successfully enabled Bafu to just do what he wants. He is completely free and easy in this game. He's got that Infinity Edge building likely towards a Storm Razor, the second item here. You could see how much burst damage he does to Electrify, who is so far behind on this Hecarim, hasn't been able to find a lick of impact.
Yeah, he doesn't even have his Trinity Force completed, and we're 18 minutes into the game, so he literally
predicts the net back into the Zenith Blade. Another Deadly Flourish obviously lands. Exizio is going to get that Chrono Shift to keep him alive, and Electrify to cover the retreat, so not going to get a kill, but it was a nice effort once again by Prime Sales in mid.
Yeah, it was a good pick. I'm sure Franksy hitting the Leona ult there because Exizio nets through it, which is... I don't know if it's a prediction or a mistake from Exizio. Either way, even if he doesn't hit it there and Exizio doesn't walk back into it, it zones him for long enough to Gekno to just slow him with the red buff anyway, so...
Yeah, it's optimal placement for Drift Banksy for sure. It's very much covers all the options there. So they are going to now move towards this Dragon Pit once again. No Dragon to be said here. Bafu now in this top lane. Spunners has got a bit of a task on his hands. Gets absolutely chunked down, and Bafu exercising some restraint in this top lane.
Yeah, I really was waiting for the W there. I was expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, there is a Seekers and a Tabbies and a... stopwatch on the side of Spunner, so he probably could have turned it because Bafu is flashless and actually does go away there as well. So
this isn't Bafu.
I think he's account sharing right now. I don't think this is the same player, but he does get that lock in the explosive shot will force Spunners away, and Spunner's not getting too aggressive as well. Does recognize the power that Tristana has. Curtain Call was used in mid to get a bit of pressure, and now we see them knocking on this tower.
Yeah, this tower should fall pretty handedly. They need to be careful because Electrifier is hovering.
Yeah, Gekno walking around the holds the full shot a long time there. Definitely could have dropped it on Draconi, but opts to hold it just in case. Does get that big speed boost to get himself out of trouble when he fires it. So maybe keeping it as an escape option just to fire that one out. But we now see Drift Banksy moving into this jungle. He's got a nice pink cord to sit on here. No one's going to spot him. Electrifier just wants, please, sir, any of my camps. And walks into his jungle, looking once again to try and punish. But Ollie's behind them as well. This mid lane is about to blow as soon as anyone tries to pull this trigger. Level 11 goes into that Electrifier, but he gets stunned up and taunted and Deadly Flourished and burst. He is resurrecting. Exizio is still low though. T's dropping that culling on the side. Another stun comes through into Electrifier, and that's going to be the kill, easily secured up by this Leona. A trap dropped onto Ollie. A lot of auto attacks coming through from Exizio. Drops him very low. Bafu on the other side is clearly having been Death Realm, doesn't have flash. One more Obliterate does it. The shutdown for Spunners, taking this 1v1 in the top lane, ends up being 1-for-1 across the map.
Spunner's still with 100% Firefly squad's kills.
Yeah.
Still the strong point. He literally is trying to 1v9 this game, and the rest of his team is falling around in shambles.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Electrifier get so walked on this game. He looked so strong when we watched him in week 1, and he's able to get that second win in week 2 as well. Really expected more out of this player, but Karan has been playing this very well too. He's not been going over aggressive on the Shyvana. He's picking his battles perfectly, coming in when he has the ultimate, mostly hanging back for poke, definitely demonstrating multiple style play here.
Yeah, and Karan's up to 8 stacks already as well, so I don't think it's as many as Electra was in game 1, but 8 stacks on the Shyvana right now is going to do so much damage. He's starting to get items in, so hopefully he can keep pressing this lead. I mean, Shyvana being ahead at this stage of the game is really nice for the team of Shyvana.
Yeah, Bufu now finds Spunners again. Maybe looks for some revenge. A Deadly Flush comes out, but an ult once again in from Electrofire. It's so early though, and he's gonna get completely mashed in the pit. Bafu sneaks up that dragon, and that's the Ocean Soul. Now he is free and in the clear to jump and flash forward. Another Deadly Flourish catches Exizio. The jumps and the dashes forward are too much for Spunners to escape. He's finally rejoined the rest of his team and found the absolute disaster that has been unfolding on the rest of Summoner's Rift this whole time. Flash away from Draconi, and the rest of Prime Tails, they're going to walk towards mid lane. They might just go for the Baron here at 23 minutes.
Yeah, it was a 22-minute GG Soul, so with 280 carries, a Dark Harvest Shyvana, and a Leona Shen, this is so good for Prime Towers. They should very, very easily be able to close this game out now. There's not a lot the Firefly squad can do from here. 6k gold down at 23 minutes, Ocean Soul over, and they're going to pick up the Baron here. This is going to be hard to do anything.
Yeah, the scaling, I think, is in the side of Prime Tails this game as well, with your Tristana and your Shyvana there, and they're already just so powerful. Triforce has finally come online for Electrofire, but we haven't seen any backup whenever he's going in. The timing is just not set up there, and realistically, who's going to follow him? I mean, Tease is the only person with the mobility to really follow up a Hecarim engage, and he's 0, 1, and 0 with 1.5 items at 23 minutes. Like, there's no value in him doing that, so there's just not really any plays that the team that Firefly Squad have drafted themselves can make in this situation.
Yeah, you're definitely right. It's the kind of game, like I said in the draft, it's definitely the kind of game where Electrofire needed to get his lanes ahead early. And just unfortunately, he had no pressure. He lost so much pressure. His bot lane just kind of crumbled. Draconi being caught out so many times early on. There was just nothing that they can do from there. And, you know, once you're a Hecarim that's behind, you're essentially useless, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can only go in and then just kind of die if you don't have the follow-up there. We do see multiple lanes pushing in back to the 1-3-1 we saw in Game 1. Same players in same positions as well. And now Ollie does get pushed away by Spunner. Spunner's still definitely more powerful. This Mordekaiser is not to be laughed at just yet, but Bafu is an absolute terror in that bottom lane. He's going to burst through these objectives very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, all Ollie needs to do now is escort waves in and make sure Spunner stays top and let the rest of his team do whatever they need to do. I mean, if I'm Firefly Squad here right now, I think I'd have Tease in that top side and I'd have Spunners laning up against Bufu. It's not the best of matchups, but, you know, we've seen already this game. Spunners can 1v1 Bufu, so I'd be aiming for that.
For sure. Give yourself the best chance to win there, as now we see these Baron minions crashing through, but Gekno, given the respect is needed, as the range advantage is still very much on the side of Firefly Squad there with the Caitlyn and Zillion. Bufu got that bottom tower down, Ollie still pushing stoically in that top side. The next objectives coming up is going to be the Elder Dragon in a few minutes, and ultimately the Baron buff doesn't seem to be able to do too much. It looks like there's not really any way for Prime Tails to get that fight started unless they want to dive with that Solar Flare. Finally a Deadly Flourish misses, but that will at least secure them this tower.
Yeah, I don't know what Bufu was doing bot lane there, but for a good 30 seconds he was just standing there, maybe standing in a bush waiting for something or somebody to walk near him. Yeah. He should have just been shoving that wave in with the Baron buff. You know, he's Tristana, he kills towers so quick. If his team are pushing mid lane as well, he can know when he needs to back out. He still has his... Oh, he doesn't have his flash, but he's got the W, which is such a good escape. He's going to need to use it here.
He's got caught in back, and now there's no W. Tease is in to step forward, and Draconi with that follow-up, but the stand unit comes through. It's not enough. Tease picks it up. The Resurrecting Hecarim is likely going to be going down in tribute as well. Does use that Ghost and just tries to flee. Slowed down by Karon. Dodges that Q, though, and is maybe going to get a chance to escape here. He's going to fight forward, but Deadly Flourish doesn't have any way to root him, and looks like Hecarim does escape with his life. So that's a nice pickup onto Tease there.
Yeah, I think maybe Bufu not quick enough to react, or his team not quick enough to tell him that he needed to pull out there. But a good pick, and Electrify does really well to survive after they find a pick. It was a nice Zillion ult. He targeted the right person in the fight. He knew that Electro was going to be squishy, and that they would focus him down. Kept him alive, but Exizio too far forward here.
No ultimate for Karon, but can just flash away from that one. Exizio not going to tempt fate. Is going to lose that summoner.
We're getting dangerously close to the Elder. I mean, I think they probably could have ended earlier. Maybe a couple of macro plays. But it's fine to play it safe, wait for the Elder. There's, as long as they don't go for a 50-50 and lose the Elder, they just win the game. They can close the game out afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's pretty much impossible for Firefly Squad to break their way back into this game when the side of Prime Tails are playing like this. They got that catch onto Bafoo, and that was pretty close as it was. They almost had to lose Hecarim for it as well, and if Bafoo just sits slightly further back, then there's not really any way for them to get it started. He's now just cleaning out the jungle. Bafoo just taking everything he needs. A lot of items coming through for both teams as well. It's currently an 8k gold lead by 27 minutes. It took a lot longer for Prime Tails to get the gold this far in their favor, and now they're setting up this Dragon Pit once again. We've seen how these fights have gone before. I imagine they're looking for it to happen again.
I don't like that play. Bafoo's topside clearing Krugs and TPs down here. That's a waste of a TP.
You could just push top or just show up on time. One of those two and save the summoner.
There's no point in doing Krugs and then TPing down there. Like, he didn't even do it for red buff. He did it for Krugs. That's so greedy.
Yeah, he is feeling himself this game. A lot of damage onto Bafoo, actually. Steps too close to the wall there. Does have the Ocean Drake, though, is going to easily heal that one up.
They're 50-50 now.
We are flipping this one. Prime Tails living up to the name. Can Electrofire finally secure something in the bag for his game? Spanish flashes forward. Gets Caron out of the pit. There's no smite available. But Bafoo takes it. He steps up for his team again, and now he's going to go absolutely buck wild on the back of this team fight. He jumps forward, he gets one, he gets two. He's back in the pit. He's out of the pit. As Spanners is just getting BM'd there. Triple kill for Bafoo. He will survive that proc, but a Quadra locked in for the Tristana mid. An absolutely dominating performance in Prime Tails. Once again, they've got the Ocean Drake. They've got the Elder Drake. They've got the waves pushing in. I think they might be able to just force it through.
Yeah, that'll be a game. Spanners did everything right in that fight. He walked into the pit, he ulted the Shyvana, and then Electrofire got outsmited by a Tristana. It's such a shame. You feel real bad for Spanners. His team just kind of crumbled around him this game, but Prime Tails played this so well from start to finish. I think big shout-outs to Driftbanksy and Gekno this game. They played the lane so well, they got so much pressure, and they've just snowballed it from there.
Absolutely, and the pad and the KDAs right now, Bafoo goes unstoppable. That is going to be the game. Another 2-0 for Prime Tails. They're going to go up to 4-0 with an 8-0 game record. They are looking very, very scary in this Division 4 right now.
They definitely are. It's very exciting to see the way they're playing the game out. It's curious. Div 4 has this tendency to have one team that's absolutely dominant, and then they kind of get rocky when it comes to finals. So I'm going to be interested to see how they do in an extended best of 5. But right now it looks like they don't have a challenger at all. The closest thing to a challenger they had this game was Spanners. So
yeah. It's very, very tough. I mean, it's actually just moving to 3-0 and 6-0 game record, I think, for Prime Tails. Got a little bit ahead of myself there. We are only in week 3, I believe. But that is nonetheless, it's like still a very, very strong performance for Prime Tails. Coron, I was hugely impressed with as well. Played two very disparate champions, very well on each side. Looking at the damage graph, it is exactly what we expected. We've got Spanners doing more than double of anyone else on his team, but Bafoo topping those charts in at 18k. Really strong performance by him. After a shaky game 1, where the rest of his team was very much stepping up, he absolutely got himself zoned in for game 2. Was a very huge carry Tristana in that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, there was a Tristana does a lot of damage. Like, I thought Gekno was doing a lot of damage, but man, he outdamaged him by 6k. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think he played the lane played the lane very well. He didn't fall too far behind. Lucian has such a strong early laning phase, and he got out even, and then because his bot lane had so much pressure, he was able to walk down there, help them snowball himself even further, and a few macro mistakes from Firefly squad, and macro and micro mistakes from Firefly squad, and they just sort of crumbled very quickly.
Yeah, it's team comps that didn't really have that many options when they're falling behind as they were, and they definitely struggled. There was always at least one piece just kind of missing from these comps. It was the Sylas in game 1 wasn't able to kind of back up what was happening, and the Hecarim in game 2 never really got going at all. And as we saw right at the end, they're losing the smite fight to Bafoo there. It's just kind of the cherry on the cake of that series, unfortunately, for Firefly Squad. Not able to get it done as Prime Tails. They are looking very consistent here. I'm not sure how Prime Heads is doing up in Division 3, if they're equally so. I think they're 1-1 right now. So I guess we'll need to see how these teams both progress, but definitely a strong core that seems to be going into both these divisions.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have an interview lined up with Gekno. So if we can get him in here, I have a few questions for him. I don't know if you do, Trajan, but I definitely have a couple of questions. What's up, Gekno? How you doing, man? How'd you feel after that game?
You're muted, just in case.
Yeah, don't worry, I know. Okay, yeah, so just Pogged.
Pogged.
Not gonna lie, going into this game, I think this has probably been the game we went into with the most kind of, what'd you say, like, kind of suspense. Like, looking at their team, we're just like, we're just thinking, like, they've done very well in the first two games, and we generally thought, like, this was going to be probably one of either the hardest or one of the hardest games to split.
I mean, game one was definitely a tough one to pull out. There's definitely a lot of back and forth there, and there were some exciting plays on both sides. But game two, you guys really just got into gear and made it look easy, to be honest.
Yeah. To be completely honest, like, we just learned from the first game. We made some really dumb decisions, and it was pretty easy to decide like what to do after that. Like, it's like, if you make a mistake the first game and do it the second game, like, what is the point of like having the pause in between?
Yeah,
it's a good way to think of it. Yeah, in game one, there was a lot of micro mistakes in team fights for you, and we mentioned it on cast as well, that you needed to play the fights differently, and there was a very noticeable switch in the way that fights played out in game one. And you stopped going for the dive straight away. You let Ollie tank up some damage to let you free fire in the backline for long enough for you to then extend a fight and win it that way. Game two was obviously a lot of, from what we saw, it was Draconi being too far forward in the bot lane, and you and Gleb punishing him quite hard for that. How do you think the draft difference, playing the Leona into a mage champion bot lane helped you out down there? Because it seemed to have, Gleb had a lot of pressure.
I'm not gonna lie, I generally don't know what some of their drafting was. Like, I get parts of it, for sure, don't get me wrong. Like, they have, like, the Caitlyn that the ADC does very well on in solo queue. But they kind of heavily went AP in their team. They, like, required the ADC to get ahead in the first game. Like, if you take away the ADC, and she doesn't get, like, Omega fed, like, what other, like, AD damage source do they have? Because they've got Silas, Zyra, and Morg, and even Ornn, he does AP as well. So, like, we just kind of all decided to stack Magic Resist. Like, obviously I didn't stack as much as the others, but I still picked up a QSS on top of the cleanse really early. Not for, like, the CC, but purely for the Magic Resist.
I think there's an item called Hex Drinker that does that.
But the thing is, I want the QSS as well, because they do still have a lot of CC.
Mm-hmm.
It was just more of I bought it a lot earlier in the game, compared to, like, if, I don't know, they just had, like, a different, like, if let's just say they had, like, a AD, like, jungle, or AD top, I wouldn't have bought it as early. But then, like, definitely in the bot lane, it kind of, they kind of let us have the same lane 2 times in a row, which I was a bit confused about. Because, like, I don't know, maybe they felt differently, but in the first game, like, I don't think it went too evenly.
From the gold perspective, it was very even from most of that game up until when the soul was becoming a picture and you guys secured that one. Then you finally got your gold lead up off. It kind of got higher than 1 or 2k at most. And I think that a lot of the fights, it's kind of hard to tell maybe who's actually ahead. But the fact that Tease was just not having much of an effect on the game, I think was just a much more noticeable problem for them in that game one, where they did have the money and they had Ornn items, so like they're equal in value in terms of power in their inventories, but they just weren't able to really execute on it, as Cliff mentioned.
Yeah.
Start playing around it better and just executing better.
Yeah, to be like, there was a very clear point in the first game where we were like, "What are we doing? Like, are we like playing League? Or are we playing like, I don't know, just like a run it down simulator?"
Yeah.
Like, we were just running into fights, not caring where they TP'd in from. And I think it was like the second or third Drake, where basically we were like getting TP'd in on. The Ornn came from the bottom. We didn't like turn to get him or anything. We'd like still kind of like half split. And the thing is like at that point I was still majority of the damage on our team. So the Ornn just blocks me off, and I'm stuck there hitting into this big old like Ornn, while like Silas and like Caitlyn's getting free shots at like Ollie, like Buffu and all that, like the Cho'Gath and Galio. Like, they are tanky, but they will eventually go down.
Yeah.
So, game 2, you guys managed to get ahead quite quickly, and we saw you hit so many good Jhin Ws. Like, did you feel like you were having a massive effect on the game? Did you feel like, you know, that a lot of the game was being played around you? Did it feel good to, you know, have that much pressure, be in that much control? Like, were you comfortable with it?
Loki, I think like my Jhin Ws are usually very bad, so like I usually whiff them all the time. It's kind of a meme, so it was, I think, just pure luck, to be honest. But
You've not been spending, don't have any hours logged in aim lab over the weekend or anything to get yourself really prepped for this.
I've been playing more CS:GO than the League, to be honest. But
well, you got the sniper mentality down at least, and I mean, you went for this Jhin Leona lane twice, and you said that you were surprised that they gifted it over to you, and you blind picked the Jhin as well, probably knowing that they would go back to the Caitlyn. What is it that you feel that makes this like matchup so comfortable for you that you're just happy taking this Jhin? Because you've been spamming the hell out of this champion recently. You're definitely confident in it.
yeah, he's Jhin. He's just dumb powerful. I don't rate Caitlyn, to be honest.
Really?
I'm not like, I play her. I still play her in scrims, but it's, I don't know. I just don't think, I think any of the other like kind of big ADCs at the moment just do better. Like, I think Ashe, Jhin, obviously Samira, let's be honest, like they won't let us get that through. We won't let them get it through either.
Yeah, safer. Just take it away and just play a sensible game.
So next week, you guys are playing Venom 5, I think. Yeah, Venom 5 next week. They're 0-2. Do you think it's going to be another 2-0 for you? Are you going to try and live the Horizon Light dream and go unbeaten?
So it's not good going to the game with that like idea, because like it will bite you. Like, obviously I'm confident we're going to win, but it can bite you, and if you go in too confident and then proceed to lose, it will create quite a negative impact on the team atmosphere. So I think we're just going to try and play normal. From what I will say though, from Venom 5, like I'm really been impressed with Minecraft rounds like role swap to jungle. So I'd be interested to see how he adapts as the weeks go on. So I'm curious what's going to happen next week.
Yeah, if you guys are playing with this, you're trying to keep your mental calm, you're trying to, take every opponent seriously, etc. Have you completely forsaken the ways of the coin flip, or are you a real serious team now, or is there still a bit of the buffoon in everybody still?
Mate, it's always been buffoon. Like, like I don't know why they banned the Monday. Maybe they saw the in-houses we played yesterday, where I got, I think it was 26 kills on Monday in 20 minutes. But like, maybe they saw that and they were like, "Yep, got to ban it." But still question the Mundo ban.
Yeah, the second rotation was just so question mark when they had the Galio taken away and the Mundo, and then you're like, well, sure, I guess we'll just take our jungler's third best jungler for free. Thanks.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think like there's still another jungle pick in there that people aren't picking up on.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm not going to say it. It'd be nice
No
later.
leaks, no leaks. You'll get flamed. No leaks.
But
Don't spoil it.
it'd be interesting if anyone did let through all the junglers. He definitely does draw a lot of bans for some reason.
I think it's because the games are like game 1 when it was on his Vi, and they're like, well, we don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah, I don't know why they let it through, to be honest. But then, if you let the Vi through, no, if you don't let the Vi through, that's another ban. And what you're gonna not ban then? Like, you're gonna let me get my Ashe? You're gonna let the Volibear through? You're gonna let the Hecarim through? You let the Shyvana through? Like, you can ban 3 junglers and he'll still have a pick to play.
Absolute ocean.
So I have one more question. I like to ask everybody this when we have them on interviews. Who do you think the top 4 teams are going to be come the end of the split? What do you think the playoff picture is going to look like?
Okay. So the thing is I wanted to actually go and watch the QRA game, the Crin Reapers Academy, because when we played them in the first week, they were just a different team. Lucas couldn't play, so in my opinion, Lucas is their kind of carry. So I'm curious. I want to see what was happening, and I heard they took a game off HH. So maybe a comeback there. But for the top 4, I would probably say Prime Tails. I'm not saying like in any order or anything, but Prime Tails, HH. It's gonna be. It's tough to persuade me away from going Fireflies OPNA. But I think if there was going to be a team to drop out of it, it's going to be OPNA dropping out to either QRA or Slowbros if they get their stuff together.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see that. I do have a soft spot for King Reapers Academy's ADC, so I'd like to see him make playoffs again.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching their game last time versus HH. That was a really exciting series that myself and Rail casted. That was very interesting to say the least. I agree with you. I think Lucas looked really, really strong in that game. Lucas Bangalter is a absolute beast, and Somtha in the jungle as well. Really, really scary roster that they can pull through.
Yeah, I never saw Somtha's jungle, to be fair, because
I'm surprised. I was say, you guys 2-0'd them. Like, dang, they looked so good in that last series because Somtha was such a beast, but I guess he wasn't even there.
He was top lane in that series.
Ah, okay.
So that's the thing, because last split I played with I'd like to say core, but like there's not much of that core left. Of like Niney and Somtha, Franklin, Serenica, and because Platypus, because it was Avengers Academy last split, and I started out as their jungler.
Yeah.
But it's odd to see them just all role swapping.
Yeah, so you just see a little bit more the lower the division goes. You see people with a bit more of like a flex ability to just be at least competent in multiple roles, and then you can switch around, maybe use some more champion pools. But
oh yeah, I can't say anything. I've switched ADC.
Yeah, exactly. But you're doing pretty well on it, so I mean, you're definitely a success case for this role swapping shenanigans.
I wouldn't call it so far. I think I'm getting carried by my support. Not gonna lie, but.
Maybe carried by Draconi in that series.
That's savage.
Either way, I was carried by a support. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, Gekno. We had a fun cast today. So Via will be back next Thursday. I don't know what games we have next Thursday. I can't find any information of it. But thank you, everybody, for watching. It's been a pleasure. I've been Cliff. My co-caster tonight has been Trajan. And Via will be back on Thursday. See you then, guys.